It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It's not rocket science. What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get to it. This isn't rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't. The reason why you're seeing single parenting being promoted more with us through the commercials, through celebrities, through movies, through television, is they want to make it normal for us to be single parents. You don't need a man. It's promoted more with our culture than any other culture. Everywhere else is family. But for us, it's for us to be broken. So we can have the mentality of being broken, to want to stay broken, as if being broken is normal. It's not something that's out of the ordinary for you to be a single parent. It's like normal. So it doesn't mean anything. When they know, statistically speaking, more families with single parents, the odds of the children going to jail or being killed, those numbers are greater in a single family household or a single parent household than a multiple parent household. That's why it was necessary for them to break that structure of family within our community. We don't have that guidance. We don't have that male presence. Even if dad went to work all the time, you knew dad was coming home and you knew dad meant business. So you better take care of what you got to take care of, X, Y, and Z. You don't mess with pops. You don't cross him. You do as he say. And that institution of family was broken. Now, in every other race, it's deemed important. You see, it's man and wife, man and wife, man and wife, man and wife. In every other walk and aspect of life, you've seen that. Man and wife, man and wife, man and wife. They promote it on commercials. You see the white guy with the white wife. You see the black guy. You see the Mexican guy with his Mexican wife. You see the Puerto Ricans with his wife. You see the Asians and their wife. You see the black guy, he hanging out with them. With his daughter from some relationship he had with some girl he doesn't even remember. They do not promote or market anything to do with family and relationship when it comes to us as a people. Oh yeah, you're not going to get that. They're not going to tell you about any of this. It doesn't fit their narrative. Why would they? What do they benefit from talking to you about something that they've already put in motion? So they're not going to share this notification. Why would they share the notification for? It doesn't serve them to share the notification. It's part of the agenda. The agenda is to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. So if you're not deaf, dumb, and blind, hello, it's not worth their time. So the narrative is to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind. Now, the whole world has reacted in a very shocking and surprising way when it came to dealing with some of the day-to-day activities you hear about on the news, television, whatever you want to call it, right? You hear these things and you start saying to yourself, okay, here we go. This is the avenue. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to get popped. This is the interesting topic. And then there's a big revolt, there's a march, and you see a black woman with child, no man behind them. And whenever there's an institution where there's a family involved, they've taken away those television shows. Anything that shows a strong black male, strong black father, they have to be shown that they're not strong. They have to be shown as cheaters. They have to be shown as flawed. So you question, is they even morally correct to even educate the child? And in film, now they put us in tutus, or they shave our head and we don't know what we want to be. We were born a man, now we think we want to be a woman. They put that into the movies. All of this is to sway you. Well, living single wasn't bad, because that's just single people living. But they all were looking for relationships. You know, they weren't out here having families and trying to say, I don't need no man. That wasn't promoted. So you could be single. They weren't out here trying to say, I don't need no man. You know, that I don't need no man. The reason why I don't do vice versa, because that's not the agenda they're pushing. They totally eviscerated the black father. The strong black father has been eviscerated as if he was a myth and didn't exist. And if they did exist, they were all flawed. You know, they killed James Evans off Good Time for a reason and replaced him with Sam, the stepdaddy. Because James asks dangerous questions. And when you ask dangerous questions, you've already upset the apple cart. So when you upset the apple cart, this is the next shoe to drop. Well, the narratives are always going to be against you because no one's on your side. I just wish it was fairness. You know? Why does this agenda have to exist in the first place? Because of the agenda is just what they want. They want to make it look like you're not good for anything but your sexuality, but you're not good enough to raise children. Break the structure of family, because if you don't see it, they normalize it. And how do they normalize it? What do you young people go by these days? Where do you get all of your news from? Hip-hop. Your hippity-hoppity culture. So, your hip-hop 1-2s and the don't stops. That's the culture you get it from. What female rapper got her clothes on? I don't know. They all look the same to me. Everybody look like Nicki Minaj. They have somebody, they say, no, that's Lotto. I'm like, I thought that was Doja Cat. I can't tell the difference. They all look like Nicki Minaj. They all auditioning to be strippers. Some of them used to be strippers. And now the strippers got the microphone. And they speaking for black culture. And they ain't even black. Y'all make that make sense. They not even black. But they are more celebrating and in charge of black culture. They got them making decisions for black culture. I kid you not. I wish it was a joke. Well, here's the news. Many people out in the game, and when I mean the game, I mean the game of life. They look at things from a different insight. Some people might say, you know what, we made it this far, we on a roll. Other people might say, well, this is as good as it don't get. Maybe we should think about this moving forward stuff. We should just probably back out. Other people be like, what? Are you stupid? And where do they get their notions from? The majority of them get these notions from what they see on their phones and what they're promoted. You got one person who promotes African Americans, and she's not African American at all. She come right out. No, because I am kind of black, because just because I'm Dominican don't mean that I am not black. Yeah, I used to date a strip club. Yeah, I used to dance in a strip club. I used to rob tricks. I used to do everything, but I tell you what, I'm more black than probably all of them black hoes that's on the pole right now. And now she has become a product that anybody can be a rapper now. Anybody can be a rapper. So they can make anybody a star. You get them to just be a stripper, and you go ahead and you give them a writer, and basically they're a rapper overnight. So they don't care about no art. And what are they promoting? Being a stripper. And pop it. And so what is your little daughter's going to do? They're growing up watching this stuff. And what they doing? They trying to pop it like Cardi. Meanwhile, the other families are telling they, because they got families, Pops ain't going for that. Pop's like, he sees baby do that, he going to go crazy. Pop's going to make sure that ain't happening. So in a 2-parent household, they're going to be on top of that. They're going to be like, oh, we ain't playing that. Nah, they ain't getting no play up in here. So let's look at those narratives. Why that ain't being promoted. See, when you have what I like to call bad characters involved, it makes my stomach crawl. To see or hear about bad characters altogether. Mm. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. When you have all of these terrible things going on around the world, it's not just in your neighborhood, it's in every neighborhood. It's a global problem. Single parent households are promoted more than any other place ever, in any time. And I like to give people the facts. The United States has the world's highest rate of children living in single parent households. You want me to repeat that? The United States of America has the highest rate of children living in single parent households. Why is that? So in third world countries, they have more families together than the United States of America. Let that sink in. What's up, Nick? It rises every year with the decline of marriage rates and rise in births outside of marriage, mostly with African Americans, right? 130 countries and territories that show that the United States has the world's highest rate of children living in single parent households. And why is that? Well, about a quarter of the children are under the age of 18 years, and with one parent, no adult, 23% more than 3 times the share of children around the world who do so, 7%. You know, these studies, which analyze how people living arrangements differ by religion, it's found that United States children from Christian and religious unofficiated families are about equal likely to live in this type of arrangement. 3% of the children in China, 4% of the children in Nigeria, 5% of the children in India live in single parent households. Canada, the share is about 15%. The United States is 23%. Mexico is 7%. Brazil's 10%. Now, Mexico and Brazil is less than the United States in earnings and everything else, and poverty and a lot of things, but they stay together. Nigeria, 4%. Mali, 1%. The UK is next to the United States at 21%. Russia, 18%. Kenya is at 16%. Shockingly. Uganda, 10%. Ireland is at 14%. Germany is at 12%. And France is at 16%. Japan is at a record high of 7%. Vietnamese, 4%. India, 5%. Now, figuring with all the people in the United States, it's crazy. Right. Well, the U.S. children are more than likely than any other children that live in single-parent households. They're most less likely to live in extended families in the United States. 8% of the children living with like relatives, aunts, and grandparents. That's about 38% if you start adding those. They develop different ways to categorize what is a single-parent household now. So let's say you ain't got your mother and father around, but you're living with grandma and your aunts and uncles. They don't really consider that like single parent household. But it really is a single parent household. But the United States, they kind of like use that chart to like say, well, it's got to be mother and father. Not they're a single one. So they lose that to lower the rates. But if they did it the right way, it'd be at 38%, people. 38%. So let that sink in. 38%. That's right. Hit the like button. Don't forget my Cash App is Carcino. That's Karceno. Well, the U.S., like other countries in the world, like Europe, Northern Asia, small households overall, like they say, where people live, it's about 3 to 4 people, which is likely to be the global average of 4.9, which is higher than the European average, which is 3.1. Christians are 3.4. Unaffiliated is 3.2. And the Jewish is 3.0. They live roughly the same number of household members. However, household sizes vary by the age. The average U.S. child under 18 lives in a household of 4.6 members, while the average adult age 60 and older only lives with one other person. In early adulthood, Americans continue to live with their parents, right? And that rate is high. But adult child households account for more than 20% of Americans between the age of 18 to 34. 18 and older, no minor children, and other family members. Young adults in the U.S. are similar to their Canada counterparts in this regard. North America has a high share of young adults who live in that same arrangement in other regions. Now, the U.S. different living arrangements for like older adults. America is, it's kind of different with them. Older adults in the U.S. are more likely to than most, go around the world and age alone. More than a quarter of Americans, like age 60 and older, they live alone. About 27% of them. compared with a global average of 16. So there's like 14 countries with higher shares of older adults living alone, and all are in Europe. Then they include Lithuania, which is 41%, Denmark, which is 39%, and Hungary, which is 37%. You see, the most common arrangement for older U.S. adults in the country, about half of the U.S. age 60 and older live in such households. That's about 46% of the global average, which is 31. Conversely, older Americans are more likely to live with wider circles of relatives. It's like more or less likely, basically, for them to live with a wider circle of relatives. Because just 6% of older U.S. adults live in extended family households, compared to 38% of the adults getting 60 and older globally. So that chart is out there. All of this means is they're right, you're wrong. And the marketing for the single parent households is why. You got the Achille and the bee, right? She's pregnant. Do anybody know who the baby's father is? Nope. Nobody know who the baby father is. But they promoted her being single and black and pregnant, and she on the cover. She ain't got no man with her at all. She just on the cover pregnant with her belly. Right? And I'm just using that as an example. How many times did they show a black person that's pregnant and having a child? They show them on the cover or something. They show them by themselves. They either be naked, holding their boobs with the baby and all that. No daddy behind them or nothing. They don't do that in every culture. So it's up to you to ask yourself the why. Why is that promoted to us so much? Because it's genocide. That's why. Genocide, son. So I'm going to get out of here. Tell you thank you for your time. Thank y'all for listening to me. Hopefully all of this information is good for usage for all you guys out there, and start to say what is really going on. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Angela Stanton King, Ticket TV, Queen Regina, and everybody out there. Welcome to HD TV and the Star Report. And I'm out, man. So don't forget to support. Hit the Cash App up, which is Carceno, Karceno. And I'm finna update the Patreon in a minute. So that's why I'm getting ready to sit here. So we're finna do something for the Patreon right now. See, we always working. We stay moving. So if you're on the Patreon, you're going to see me again.